I've tried to surf a few times. It didn't go so well.
Yeah, I swallowed like 5 liters of salty water, but it's fine.
Nice. Um, how's everybody else's weekend? Good?
Yeah, it was good, thanks.
Cool. Nathan,
Yep.
thanks for getting all that stuff out to the media team.
Yeah, sure. No worries.
So real quick, Deb, you want to just give an update of
Yeah,
what happened last week and the plan for
yeah.
this coming week?
So last week we pushed the updates for bugs we got from Bugsnag, so more stability. This week we're gonna work on user profile updates and design changes that Hannah sent. Alex already created some estimates on how long it's going to take to do each of those things. He's working on that now. Besides that, Vitali sent us an email explaining what we're going to do with automated tests. So Vlad is the one to take care of that to make that happen. I sent him a message, didn't get any responses yet. So I hope to have something started this week. So
This is
the
all for the mobile app. This is all for the mobile app.
Yeah, mobile app, yeah. So basically the automated tests just to save us time. So instead of every week having to go in and log in, register, add a forum topic, comment, vote, we're going to have a system to do that for us. So we can see if the features we have are working or not.
Mm.
So that's the idea. On the website, we did a few things. The last thing I did last week was testing a new form for universities. We were having a problem with registrations and the emails that were being sent. Initially, we thought the problem was on the site, but it wasn't. It's actually a configuration on the Infusionsoft side and how the decision diamond was configured. So I need your help, Patrick, to fix that because I tested more.
That's been fixed. The problem is where's the one click login being generated? That email still isn't being sent.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
I
should
tested again.
our server be sending that or no?
No. Actually, we do send that information, the link to
Yep.
Infusionsoft. There's a custom field there where we store the
Oh,
information.
so we need to create an email with that.
There was already an email for that.
Oh, there was? Okay.
Yeah, we configured that on Infusionsoft a long time ago.
Okay.
So I think that was even the first custom field we created for contacts on Infusionsoft.
A one-time login.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay, so we just need to figure out where we need to put that in, get it in, so that people in the university also get that.
Exactly.
So before it splits them out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good enough. Yeah, let's do that first today because that's
Okay.
important. I want to be able to send those I want to test that and get those emails out to the universities.
Okay.
Ideally
So
today.
there were more updates on that. So, for example, Andre sent an update for quick links. So before the first comment, so we can just scroll faster to the most helpful, funny, controversial. So that was a quick fixture and pretty cool in my opinion. There were some fixes too, small ones. So for example, when we had authoring information for anonymous users, if the user tried to update his profile data, it was not updating the form right away. So that was a small fix, but good thing to have. For this week, Andre started checking our CSS, and that's going to help us on Drupal 8. So it's going to help on Drupal 7 and Drupal 8. Helps with having smaller CSS files for each page, and helps with the Drupal 8 migration because we're going to have the process now that we're going to use on Drupal 8. This is the other thing we're working on, the plan for Drupal 8. We were thinking initially to do the migration starting on February or March. Now, what we talked about is to start the migration once we have the the new developer and the planning ready. So if we get someone that Artem likes and we can start right away, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, and the decision there was we don't have as many back-end big tasks now that the LMS is pushed and all of that. We don't have any massive big back-end tasks right now
Thank
that
God.
makes sense to do it right. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to do it right now. There are some back-end things we want to do, but tend to be easier in Drupal 8. So we said now is probably a better time. So like Firebase, like the way we send out push notifications, all that stuff, switching over to newer technology or just an easier one, single sign on, all that stuff. Making that switch after the migration seems to make a lot more sense. Hannah is doing some major redesigns on the homepage. She's creating an entire style guide for the site so that the headers are all consistent across the site, the drop downs are all consistent across the site, the call to actions, because there's just probably about 10 different types of every single element on the page. So just from it being done piecemeal. So we're going to kind of go back and clean that up along with the homepage design.
I love that.
So yeah, she'll probably be done with that. I'm thinking not done, but probably before the end of this week. Have a pretty good sense. She's going to put in a lot of hours there. So that should hopefully help us.
That's the other thing the work Andre is doing on CSS will do. So it will be more organized in terms of components. So it's easier to split where everything is. So we're not going to have like one big file with lots of
Styles.
classes. Yeah. So we're going to have one thing that is common, one thing for maybe tables, and one for drop downs, stuff like that.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll make pages lighter too. Eventually.
Let's
see what else. I'm looking at the sheet right now. The scorecard. I'll share it with everybody. Last week, number of new mentors. Ivy, looks like we hit the goal. 7. The number of open tickets dropped all the way down to 5, which is great to see. Nathan, when you get a chance, if you could fill these in. I know they were new. I put new here if it was like a new thing, but when you get a chance, you could fill that in. Number of pods, I think we did get one. Or at least, I don't know if we got, no, not as a guest yet. So maybe I'll just keep that as new because we're still kind of building that or scaling this up.
Yeah, we've had two potential interested people, so hopefully one of those comes through.
Yeah, so I think in order to get the one, I think we need to scale up the number of pods we're reaching out to. Hopefully this week you'll have a little more time as things with the media team get a little more settled.
Yeah, should do.
And I think you sent Becca a bunch of new snippets as well. So hopefully by next week we easily hit the 7. I think we'll easily hit the 7 to the media team.
Sure.
The active users is actually, if I show you guys that graph, it's actually pretty interesting. We've actually passed it for the first time year over year, which is a great sign. We had been trailing. If you look back in April, it was pretty dramatically lower. I don't know if this is the mobile app or what. We need to take a look at the mobile app, but that could be the mobile app helping us kind of push through and get more active users, which is pretty exciting.
Maybe we can change that graph too, Patrick, and include what is.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think still have a total, but then just show maybe a line down here showing that little line showing mobile.
Yeah.
My guess it's pretty small, but it might be just enough to be inching it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then where else here? Looking at the scorecard. Andy, get the snippets in. Ria's out, guys. I don't know. Is Callie on? I don't think she's on, but Ria's out, I think, for the first couple days this week. So I'll tell Andy and Callie to just push whatever they have from Facebook over to Instagram. But let me check what's going on there.
Sorry, what's the name of that graph?
The scorecard. This is
the graph you showed.
Active users last 28 days. Yep. We had 66. So here we fell a little bit under. And then I'll talk to Callie about this. I don't know what happened. I think maybe she had midterms or something. I got to talk to her about this and what happened there. Carolyn, were you able to reach out to like 10 different contacts or clients? I think you did. I think you hit that number, but I wasn't sure. And that's a new metric. I don't know if you even saw that. So if not,
no, I did not see that, but I'll take a look at that.
so we'll just leave it as new for this week, and then next week, this is just to make sure that like we're in contact with all the 40 plus people that either like recruiters or our own clients, even if it's just to say, hey, how are things going? We don't have any good new candidates that came in. Just wanted to check in, see what the status is. That counts as an outreach. And the reason I put that here is just to make sure that like we don't go a month or 2 months without checking in with them. And that's it. So I think this is all by the way, this is all still moving. This is all still changing. So like this is brand new for Matt too, in terms of number of clubs or groups calls implemented. So Matt, do you want to tell the team what you're doing here? I don't know if he's on. Is Matt on? No, he's not on. Okay, so I'll tell you. So Matt is going to he's building up a database of basically university and and clubs that, so similar to the deal we did with Bristol, where they sent out a flash sale, doing a club with like an investment banking club, finance club association, basically universities doing outreach and saying, hey, we'll sponsor you guys, and trying to get a swap deal where we sponsor them, we get featured there as a source, but then we also kind of are able to send out a flash sale of sorts to their membership and saying, hey, if you buy in the next 48 hours, we'll give you $50 off on any course, kind of thing, and see if that works in terms of it paying for the sponsorship itself to get ourselves more visibility in those groups, especially in like the UK, where we have a good reach, but there definitely like internationally we could do better. But yeah, that's the majority of, I think, the updates. So a little bit, we got to talk to the social team here a little bit here. Revenue was down a little bit year over year from this past week. It is really choppy though. Some weeks you'll see it up 20, other weeks you'll see it down 20. So I don't read too much into this unless it's red significantly for several days in a row or several weeks in a row. Then we kind of get concerned. But yeah, that's it. And I think my calendar, I opened it up a lot, Nathan. So we should have plenty. We should have no problem hitting this 10. Sure. If we're hitting the 400 or 500 a week outreach, because I think I opened up probably another 10 slots a week or something like that for people to do that. So
I'll just keep firing them out and sending off the replies, and fingers crossed we'll get some more this week.
Cool. Anything else, guys? Any questions on all this stuff? I know this is all still brand new, and we're kind of modifying and changing based on my conversations with you guys. And I'm this number of tickets thing, I talked to Sam about it, and I think the combination for support to have the number of tickets open plus Carolyn focusing on the average first response time, I think will help. And Carolyn, hopefully you get more of an opportunity this week because Matt and Nathan won't be jumping in on the resume reviews as often to get more practice there. What else is going on? How about support, guys? I know, so Sam, I think the big thing is for us to make sure that the university forms are working, right? For that to be done with that. That'll be right after. I'll work with Joe on that.
And then just the other thing is, like, I don't know what needed to be done, but the prop trading course originally wasn't supposed to be in the LMS, but now it's live. So I don't know if, like, Joe, there's anything on your end that you need to do in terms of actions in case somebody purchased it, not just like the university, right, Patrick?
I don't think there's anywhere where people can purchase it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they would.
Why not? I mean, we could sell it for like less than what we sell the normal courses for, and it doesn't have to be highlighted in that top. But if it's already in the LMS,
yeah, we could do something.
It has video content with it, and none of the information. I mean, I didn't give it a super thorough look, but it didn't look outdated to me. But it's not that many modules. I think Carolyn totaled it up. It's like 75 minutes, so we could take a breeze through it or have through and take a look through it.
Yeah, I mean the issue with that is it's like it didn't sell very well. It didn't have a lot of sales, so I'm just skeptical of like it could just be taking away sales from the others.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
It's so it's more something like I'm fine offering it,
Right. But I
um,
also didn't put any banana rewards with it. I didn't know how necessary that was since we kind of just stuck it in there for the universities. Like, do you really want the licensed students to be able to get
it's a good point.
all those benefits?
What were remind me what the benefits are for the first one?
Right now we kind of have like generic benefits in there, and we should probably
It's like half off or $50 off for the first.
yeah, it's like a discount on a mentoring and then like a discount on a resume review.
I don't mind that at all.
Like $20 off the mentoring, and then like I don't remember what it was off a resume review. I saved it in my email so that way we could circle back to it and
Cool.
talk about it.
Cool. Okay.
Well,
What else?
We talked about one more thing last week, that we're going to include a new label on Trello for the dev team, just so when Ivy creates a card, it will just mean that we have to reply as soon as possible, because it might be something that we need more information, like the username or URL, or just we'll say something like, well, we cannot see the problem anymore. We're trying to reproduce, but it's not possible. Just a way to reply as soon as possible to the users.
Yeah, one of the things that we talked about last week was to have the cards if we switch it to pending, that means we've responded to the client, and if they don't respond in 72 hours, it gets automatically closed. Carolyn, can you tell us what that looks like? I think it's like they get a warning and then it closes, or it closes and then they get a warning.
They get a warning at 24 hours. It's just called a bump that just says, hey, we haven't really heard back from you yet. And then 48 hours after that point, the ticket will automatically solve. They can reply to it. It will reopen. And I believe it's set up to 7 days after a ticket is solved, it will be closed, meaning we cannot reply to it and reopen it. But we can create a follow-up and the user can respond, and that will create a follow-up, which is a second ticket, but it still shows a link to it. So there's, yeah, they can still respond. It doesn't ever block them from communicating with us regarding that ticket.
Okay, and so the key here is for us not to move things to pending unless we have responded, and just to keep things open if we owe them a response.
Exactly. Pending is only for when we're waiting on a response from the user.
Okay, cool. Ivy, Nathan, does that sound okay to you?
Yep, that sounds fine. I assume also when we're waiting for a response from a member of the team as well.
Yeah, if you're waiting for a response from a member of the team, that is when it should always be an open.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because if you put it in pending, it could just close it when we haven't really either heard from dev or something like that. And a lot of the responses may just be, hey, that's a feature request that we sounds good, but we just don't have time for it. That's going to be the response. And we should have some sort of macro for that or something where it's just like, hey, that's a feature request. We've communicated to the dev team, but given the other priorities, it's not currently, anytime soon kind of thing. Thank you for your feedback kind of thing.
For those cases, should we always create a card and have something like saying that we should communicate and tell the user that we did what they asked, or no, doesn't matter?
Like for the cases where
feature requests are not that common.
They're not. Okay.
I don't think they are. I think it's usually like little bugs.
Little bugs.
Right. I mean, Nathan, what's the thing that you're waiting on? And then like Zhao, you and I communicated this morning about something separate. But like, I don't know, it doesn't come in super often. It's just like little things here or there.
It's like cache issues.
Or like someone, and like Carolyn said this morning, it's like, and sometimes you ask them, okay, can you give us more information? We need to give our dev team as much information as possible. And then they don't respond. So
which is fine, which is great. Then you put it to pending and it closes.
Right. But I don't think it's so much feature requests.
I was just going to say that most of the time people just want to know that their issue is being looked at. They just want to know they're being listened to. They don't actually necessarily want frequent updates or anything. I think.
Okay. So I think better not to bother the dev team until you have a really good sense of what the bug is and like, okay, what browser were they on? When did it happen? Is it still happening? Do you know what I mean? Because oftentimes it'll resolve itself, or they weren't logged in, or it's something silly, and the dev team going and trying to replicate the issue takes them a lot of time. So like I would see if you could replicate the issue that they have. Do you know what I mean? And if you can, that's great, because then you can basically get it into the dev team on trouble.
I believe I included it in a macro. I know I mentioned it in the chat or something, but there's a website that you can go to. I believe it's just tech support details, or you can send the user to, and it will read your browser information, your operating system, and a few other pieces of information. So the user doesn't have to go and search for them. So we just tell them to take a screenshot of that page and send that to us. So that should also help streamline getting the information to the dev team if we do need to escalate it to them.
Yep.
Cool.
That's great. Love that. Anything else? Questions, thoughts?
Just as an FYI, I emailed you and Andy, and I think you responded, but I'm just going to be working on that student's quick guide. So Andy said to let him know if I need help with dates and timelines, and then also that Rhea and Callie can be a good resource for that. So
yeah, or me.
I don't even really know where to start. So who should I talk to first to kind of interview in terms of a rough outline?
I think they sent something. I think you should look at you should do something for the interview is, you should do a timeline for when the interview is within 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, because they did one for a management consultant, from Management Consulted, that company.
Right.
And it was for the 4-week consulting prep plan.
Yep. And so you could do one that's emergency,
investment banking.
Yeah, you can do one that's an emergency, 2 week, 2 days timeline, and you could do one, or 24 to 48 hours where they're just cramming last second. And for those, I would make sure they're actually looking at the technical quickly and the behavioral, you know what I mean? And
then I was thinking in terms of, and you and I can talk about it, but for behavioral, one of the top ones is walk me through your resume, right?
Right, exactly.
That's the one that they should know down pat. And then a few technicals, and then for private equity, it's going to be deal experience, in which case we can direct them to the PE deal cheat sheets. But did you just want this for IB, or did you want it for PE?
Start with IB and just get that
Start
right.
with one. Okay.
Yeah, IB, and then kind of go from there. And we can that can be part of the course materials, almost like a syllabus.
Yes, agreed.
That we can just attach to the course.
Cool.
You can call it IB timeline or study timeline, and just brand it. Once you have it, we can maybe get handed and make it look pretty.
I think Hannah will have some of the designs ready today too.
For
a container.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I see she responded, yeah? Or no?
No, not yet.
Yeah. Okay. What else is going on? I'm trying to think here before I call it. What am I forgetting?
I have a small thing. I was just going to talk about Jason, the intern. At the moment, he's quite underworked. I don't think he did any work last week. And I think he just wants to get some hours put into his internship to try and hit that 200.
Okay.
So I'm kind of looking for other tasks that he might be able to work on. So if anybody could use the help of an intern, just let me know.
What's the status on the family office stuff?
Just waiting, because I messaged you on Friday asking for some help categorizing the.
But he can keep going even if we haven't figured out the categorization.
Well, it just seems redundant to categorize after doing most of the work, because the point of it is to kind of speed up the process and make it easier on him and more streamlined.
Oh, the categorization?
Yeah, because then he can just quickly.
But he's pulling out. We're not going to know for a while what all the categories are until he's pulled out a lot of different descriptions and stuff like that. So okay, and it's going to be one of those things where that cell, that file, or that area where he's putting in all those descriptions, we're not going to delete those. They're just going to be hidden. because
Okay.
we could be like, oh, we want to add in one additional category. Let's look at the descriptions and we actually pull out a whole other category. So like we have location, investment type, stuff like that. I think you should continue to do that because that's super valuable information that if we can codify somehow. So I wouldn't wait on our inability to do multi-select. Maybe we could bring in Zhao or Artem to help us with that. It's a Google Sheet thing where we're trying to create a drop-down. We can create a single select drop-down, but the multi-select needs some sort of scripting in Google Sheets. And we found something.
I did have a hack at it, but it didn't want to work for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, we looked at Stack Overflow. I think had a little example of how to script it, but it didn't work because we're not developers.
That's what we do too. We check Stack Overflow.
Yeah. So it didn't really work. But yeah, I would have him keep going there, Nathan. I wouldn't tell him to stop because, I think he did a couple hundred, right? And I think there's only like out of a couple hundred, there's like 40 or 50 descriptions that he was able to get.
Probably more. I think close to 40% or so. But yeah, no, he's doing a good job so far. I think he's done about 14 hours, and he's done 200 total descriptions, which, considering the complexity of some of them and how far he had to go, is quite impressive.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be really valuable in the next iteration, the next version.
Are we giving him access to the courses for his efforts?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't
find out.
I think that's what we usually do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was communicated to him, but I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so cool. Nathan, we usually, like, for interns that aren't paid, we usually give them access to some of the courses, or like, one of them, two of them, to help them and say thanks. And if he did want that, you could also let him know that, like, if he's going through it and he sees anything or any opportunities where we could add information, we're now in a place where we really can be making updates and adjustments as often as we want. So feedback is going to be super helpful.
Yeah, now that they're out of PDFs and into the new LMS, it makes it much easier to make changes. Typos, whatever it is, we can update it right away.
Or adding a lesson into any of the modules, something that's new that they're doing in recruiting that maybe wasn't around or wasn't as developed when these were developed a few years ago.
Yeah, we may even want to include when Isabella does something on the hire view interviews, we may even want to include her video from Ask WSO in the IB interview course as an introduction to hire view.
Yeah.
Questions. But okay, cool guys. Well, let me know. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it?
No, I think it's okay for me.
Let's see. Talent Oasis. I think we do want to send a newsletter out.
Yes.
Yep. And I am almost done with that. Send it to Ivy.
Perfect. Okay, and I think we have just a
Carolyn, can you send it to Patrick and I first so we can review it before you send it to Ivy?
That's right. Yes, I was going to CC you, but that's right. You said to send it to you. I will do that first.
Yeah, just so I can look it over, and that way we don't confuse Ivy with multiple newsletters coming her way.
Got it. Sure.
Perfect.
Thank you.
About Talent Oasis in the site, we're going to remove the notifications we send from the site. Sam asked me to do that. So every time someone was to a job, we were sending a notification by email. So we'll remove that.
Okay.
That's amazing. Thank you, Joe.
No worries.
Anything else on dev that we think is kind of more urgent, guys? Like on the dev side? Besides the university thing, getting that fixed, that email.
Nope.
Well, we have questions, some questions, but not urgent.
Okay. LMS admin, what else is going on with that? So
exactly that. That's the question.
Yeah. So what is it like adding? Sam, we've tried importing people, right?
We've done both. So, like, we've had situations where we've filled out the form. And so, Patrick, like, that was your email where we did that. We filled out that university form that's on the contact us page right now. And then with Ria's email and, just with Ria's email, we did the import. And then with Tharoon's email, we did the form.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was doing tests for both of them because I thought that the process for each would be a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. For the import, it still gives them the license tags, which should put them.
Yeah, and it just didn't.
Well, it's
Oh,
because
there was one where it just didn't give them the thing because we took it out.
But we have nothing. Yeah, we have nothing set up in Infusionsoft, so we need to do that too, right?
Which one though?
For when you're importing the users into the, there needs to be something like, "Hey, welcome to the course."
Oh yeah, just like a general, really general one, right?
We should have like a different tag called like licensed import, because there's the licensed for the, we have like the license tags for the university forms that go through and they just get that one email that gives them access to whatever the school licensed. But there's, when we're importing people, it could be because they wanted to switch emails, they wanted to do whatever. We could just, instead of calling it license, we could call it imported access or something like that. And that could just go straight into the same campaigns that are for the other, for the main course.
Yeah, but you know what the issue is going to be is that every single, like, let's say you're importing students into the investment banking course, you need to import them into networking, technical, and behavioral. And if they're getting the same tag each time you import them to one of those courses, are they going to get those emails 3 times?
No, not the same tag. They're going to get 3 separate tags because they're 3 different courses.
Well, then are they going to get 3 separate welcome emails?
No, because once they're in the campaign, they can't get the same.
So it'll be the same campaign.
Yeah, it'll be in the same campaign. But I'm thinking about that. Is there a way, instead of us giving access and doing those imports for those other universities, just give them that form?
Yeah, but then they're just gonna have to re-sign up. Not a huge deal for Utah. There's only like 46.
No. Oh, not for those.
I mean, that would take me.
Not for those. I'm saying for going forward, so you guys don't have to go in and do it yourself. Like, to be like, hey, just sign your students up in this form. And maybe we can ask Dev that. Is there a way, guys, where that those forms can be hosted somewhere where it's not like we don't have to have a page publicly online? Like, I know they could embed it somewhere on their own website, but let's say they're not tech savvy. Is there like a way we could just link them to give them a link that would open the form?
Can we, maybe we could do that with Infusionsoft form. If we can include like a text area on the form of Infusionsoft, and then we could maybe do the same idea as we do on the site. So there's a huge list of emails on Infusionsoft, sent to Infusionsoft, and then Infusionsoft sends an HTTP post to us. Because if we don't do that, I'm not sure. We may need to make some changes on the server because of security issues. Because it would,
my concern is like the university
of our forms on someone else's.
Yeah, no, my concern is really just being able to fill out the form, just even be able to embed the form somewhere. So like, is there a way? So if like I look here at my screen, so like right now, Washington University St. Louis, they would enter their first name, last name, email, boom, they can embed this in. But like, what about Utah, all those students? They're sending us the emails. And we're having to go and import stuff. Exactly. Is there a way we could just give them a form, but like make it easy somehow so they don't have to embed it? Like, is there a way we could like grab the code? Is there something part of the code where they could use a hosted version? Here we go.
Yeah.
So like this. There we go.
Guys. Throw that into an incognito. Oh, okay. Yeah, then let's do that. Ta-da!
Let's just give all the universities this link.
That works.
Done. All they have to do is put in a link instead of embedding a form. And so
yeah, but I'm just saying. So that's like half the process on that side of it. But then the other side is just the importing emails process, which basically the only reason we even need to go that route is because of all the people that are already have access to the e-junkie.
They don't need to get emails. So I don't, because they've already been given emails in the intro and all that stuff. So it's just for the new people. I would tell them, hey, just when you have somebody new, just drop them in here. And well, not to WashU, but like we should create one for Utah or whatever. BYU, who is it? University of Utah, right here.
Yeah, but these are for new signups. But what about the existing signups?
You just import them.
That's the reason for the imports. Yeah, I know, but still, after you've imported them, they should get some sort of email that says "Welcome to the course."
I don't think so. They already have it. You could just send them an email, separate
But
email.
how are they gonna know how to get to it? Oh, I see. So just blast them all via
Send
like
them
a
one
Google merge.
No, like a
Yeah,
broadcast.
you're right. That works.
Just a broadcast through Infusionsoft saying, just you have access now.
Yes, let's do that. That's so much easier. Yes, because
But-
every
but-
school's different.
But the key here is using this hosted web form, so you can just send them a link. All these schools, just a link. So you don't. There's no code.
Yeah, for
something
everyone
attached.
here on out.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big difference because you'll be like, all you have to do is put in this link,
Amazing.
replace all those links. Is just put this link here, and your kids will fill out this thing, and boom, you're set.
Yep. And then they can either take the link or they can embed the form on their site, whatever they want to do, and then we can keep track of it here.
Perfect. I love it.
I love it.
So much better. I was like, there's got to be a way, and sure enough, there is. Okay.
My Christmas dreams come true.
So we just need to make sure, Joe, that second that one-click login email is set somewhere in the general autoresponder. I'll look at it now, actually. But anyways, okay, guys. Anything else you want to chat about before calling
Nope.
it? Ivy, thanks for staying on so late. Get some rest. All right, guys. You too. Well, Nathan, you're on for a little bit longer, and then you rest.
I am indeed.
Thanks, guys. All right, we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
See you all. Bye.
Bye. And thanks to you, my listeners at Wall Street Oasis. If you have any suggestions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to send them my way, Patrick at wallstreetoasis.com. Until next time.